Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. First and foremost, Kahalala Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Recha Kadash. Double honors to all the elders, the prophets, the apostles, the teachers, the disciples, all the way down to the sincere Akyam Akwad that are coming into the 100% truth. Greetings and salutations. I just finished that Easter class right here, and this is what everybody's doing today. A Astarte ritual, aka Easter Sunday class. Go ahead and watch that if you want. But while everybody's celebrating Easter, North Korea threatens nuclear war. The EU serious about decoupling with who? The United States. So the whole European Union. Watch. The EU's new China plan. From one day to the next, things are changing. And as you can see Asians and Russians in the top right corner from an up-and-coming elder, Amat Wanabad, shaking hands. So we're going to get into this. Because this is just this is a lot of prophecy right here in front of our faces all at once. So without further ado, let's look into a few things. All right, this is a sample from Amat Wanabad 144's class. In the end, it shall speak. I'll put everything in the description. I finally learned how to do that. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Pissed off the rest of the world. We've been the bully with this thing. We're now a credit-based economy. In other words, we print fake money and we spread it throughout the world. But the rest of the world is actually producing the food, the gold, the silver, the machinery, and all this. So finally, the rest of the world said enough's enough. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That was the original BRICS. And now they're gaining force.
It's not just Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You have well over a dozen countries that have already applied, such as Algeria and Argentina and Iran, the United Arab Emirates, Nicaragua, Turkey, Indonesia, Senegal, Nigeria, Afghanistan, Egypt, Kazakhstan, and the biggest one of all, Saudi Arabia, has formally applied to the BRICS nations. Kazakhstan, Indonesia, Thailand, all of these countries and their neighbors that are growing together are forming a massive, very imposing, not only from a GDP, but you put all these countries together and their military might is very, very strong as well. And those are the BRICS plus. Now they're talking about adding more countries, including Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Bolivia, Chile, Cuba, Ecuador, Peru, Uruguay, Venezuela, Azerbaijan, Mongolia, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam. The list goes on and on.
So the rest of the world is saying, enough of you sending us your toilet paper.
This is what's going to happen when all the nations join against us. They are going to invade and attack, and their military might will be, you saw it, over 100 countries listed against one. That's what happens when you bully the earth. When you sit on the horns. Well, no, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. You can see what's going on. All right, Shalom. You guys saw it. You saw it for yourself. Let me go ahead and grab these grab these notes. Let me zoom this camera out a little. Let me zoom the camera out a little. Let's go back as far. There we go. Give me some space. There we go. I'm going to sit down. That's fine. All right. You saw it with your own eyes. As I sit here and deliver this short message, you saw it with your own eyes. No more conspiracy theories. No more, well, this means this mystical thing and that means that mystical thing. Let me show you how it really works. First of all, let's go to the book of, oops, turn it off. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. Book of Obadiah, KJV. First, we're going to go right down to, I think it's verse 7. Let me get in there. Yep. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. As we speak, every country is successfully banning against so-called America. We'll just call it Babylon the Great, secret Babylon, and Egypt and Sodom. It's all over. The place is destroyed. The clock's been set. Your time's almost up. But let's jump around because let me just go ahead. Let me just read 8 so we all know who we're talking about here. Let's find out who we're talking about. Who are we talking about here? Because there's going to be a point where everybody's going to have to shut up. And all of your witchcraft doesn't work over here. Your witchcraft it's the spell has been broken. And the changing of the guard has begun. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. And let's read it again. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. They lied to you. Let's look up the word confederacy. Let's look at the word confederacy. The people that have made a deal with you. Watch. What is the biblical definition of confederacy? Contract. They made a deal with you, like I said. Between two or more persons, bodies of men, states, combined in support of each other in some act of enterprise. Okay? So, now we know what confederacy means. They have a contract. They are confederate against us. Remember, they were confederate against us. And that means that they had a contract for them all to rise up against us. And now the other nations have lied in their faces and have prevailed against them. Now they're all banding together to take the whore out. In fact, let's get that. Revelation chapter 17, KJV. Starting at verse... All right, we'll start at verse 10. You know what? Let's start at 9. And here's the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Okay? The woman is, we all know, is the whore of Babylon. So America is being held up by 7 nations. And there are 7 kings. So 7 mountains, 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, it must continue for a short space. So that's literally describing America coming out of Europe. So it comes as But anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. If you haven't studied, then you just don't understand, and that's on you. There's 100 classes that you can go look that up. It's not, we're not doing a class about that right now. We're past that now. See, those days are over. Now we're moving on to the future. And the future is the prophecy of the demise of Babylon on a daily basis. And here we go. Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth. But anyway, and it's of the seventh. So Europe was the seventh mountain, and America is the eighth of the seventh, which must go for a short time. And goeth into perdition. So, what's the biblical definition of perdition? Biblical definition of perdition. Hell or eternal damnation. Okay? We see, you know why it says hell or eternal damnation? Because a Christian breakdown of hell is fire and pitchforks and people falling into. That's why eternal damnation, an undying worm, complete suffering, always being at a low estate suffering. So, perdition means hell or eternal damnation. Now that we know that, we can go back to Revelation. So, we know that this whore that's sitting on the 7 heads, which are nations, and we know that it comes from the 7th, and it's the 8th, the one that must continue for a short time, completely describing secret Babylon or America, and then it must go into eternal damnation. How? How's it going into eternal damnation? Did you see all the nations gathered against this place? Do you think that if they were all to come at once, that there might be an eternal damnation here? This place is going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Eternal damnation. In other words, it's going to be uninhabitable when they're done with it. That's another class for another day, right? You guys, it's going to be hard to teach anybody that doesn't study on a regular basis. So, and let's go to verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have not received a kingdom as of yet, but received power as a king for 1 hour with the beast. You know, this verse always reminds me of these top people that sell out just so they can have those riches and have that, like, I'm like, this could be my own vain imagination, but like when you have people like Soros, he doesn't have a kingdom, but he's like a king. He has so much money. Then you have the whole secret government that they own everything, but at the same time they have nothing. But they're the beast right there. But people like Bill Gates, all of these, Bezos, Elon Musk, all of these super wealthy people of our time, and then we have our entertainers that also have to sell out on that same level, all the way up to government leaders that, what do they call it, lobbying. So they take money from the secret government and then they push the secret government's plans. Now, I could be completely wrong about this. I said that this verse, every time, it reminds me of those specific people. The 10 horns, and let me read it again. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So they have a limited time to rule, and then they're out. These have one mind. They shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So right now, what's happening is, if you when you keep it on the context that I was talking about, all these people have the same goal, they're on the same agenda. Anybody that goes against it ends up mysteriously dead or in prison for misdemeanor for 125 years. So And they're in our faces with it. We know what's going on as a people. We know as Israelites what's going on as a nation, that all the prophecies are being fulfilled. And it's a great time to be alive if you think about it. And they know what's going on. And their time is almost up. So, let's go ahead and read 13 again. These have one mind. They shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords, King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so, we're going to stop there with that. I just wanted to show you that the 7 heads, the 10 horns, the whore that rides on these 7 heads and 10 horns is going to be taken out. And I'll show you that. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 13. This is how they're going to take out the Americas. So this America right here, I hope the elder apostle Tahar is right, but they still have to they have to enforce this MOTB before these guys blow the place up. I know that. All prophecies have to be fulfilled. So everything has to happen the way the scriptures say, not the way we want it to. And I am with the elder apostle Tahar 144,000%. I really want this to be over. And when people tell me about vacationing, doing things, I'm just like, man, I wonder how many more years do you think we'll actually be here? But let me show you how they're going to destroy this place real quick, and then I'm going to shut it down. Let's start at 2nd Esdras, because all the nations are already gathered together, and they're getting ready to take out the whore, and it shows that. Let me find that real quick before I get. Let me find that before I bring out 2nd Esdras. Let me see if I can find that. And they all gathered together to fight and take out the whore. I'm trying to figure out where it's at. I might be going off. No. I think I found it. Let's see. I think I found it. No, you know what? Maybe I can find it and then bring out a whole separate thing on it, because because the one I'm finding is talking about us destroying all the nations when they gather together against it. So that's not the right one. So let's go back to 2nd Esdras, because I'll just go back to where I was at. I was going to show you how the other nations are going. I wanted to show you how they were gathered together against the whore. And all the nations will gather together against the whore of Babylon. I'm hoping. See, I think I can find it, guys. There's just. just want to, one more try. Revelation chapter 27. Will I find it? Oh, dang. What in the... Yeah. Alright, now it's just fucking with me. It won't let me have it. It will literally, okay, so what my tablet's doing is I'm trying to get into Revelation chapter, that's why I'm like trying, there's only 22, there's only 22 chapters. I'm looking for something I can't find right now, clearly. So let's go back to Second Esdras, and I apologize. I'm so wound up that I forgot that I was looking for a specific verse, and I'll have to find it and come back and do something else or something. But until then, let's go back to Second Esdras 16 and 13, like I said, and we'll figure out how they're going to destroy this place when all the nations gather together. For strong is the right hand. This is Second Esdras in your Apocrypha, chapter 16 and 13. For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to shoot into the ends of the world. Okay? So when he shoots these bows, what's the modern day arrow? Come on. Starting from a .177 BB gun all the way up to a hypersonic nuclear missile. Those are the modern day arrows that are shot from the modern day bow. So let's move around a little bit, because I already spent so much time looking for a verse, and then I started looking so hard, I started searching for Revelation chapter 27. I went 5 verses into the future because it stops at 22. There's only 22 chapters in Revelation. Now, that's funny to me, but that's just me. Jeremiah chapter 50. KJV. Come on, man. And here we go. I found it. All that looking. Wait, hold on, let me make sure. Hold on. Verse 9. For lo, I will raise and I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. I have been searching for something I have written down in front of me the whole time. But that's what I'm talking about. I wanted to bring that out before Second Esdras. These great nations are going to come together from the north country. They shall set themselves in array against her, and from thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of mighty expert men. None shall return vain. In other words, they are not going to miss. Now, let's just read that again. Let's read that again, and then we'll bring out 2 Ezra 16 and 13. I've been searching for this verse so hard, and I actually wrote it down. I wrote it down and forgot that that's what I wrote down. But you still got to take notes, right? I still have it written right there. I should have put something next to it to let me know that that was important. Second, so Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. You saw on TV how many nations that the guy, and he said the list goes on. He must have named off almost 100 different places, and he named off places I never even heard of. And the list goes on. So he shall set again of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. So she's going to be destroyed. Okay? Their arrows shall be as the mighty expert men, none shall return vain. There's the point. She's going to shoot her arrows, and they're not going to miss. Let's get that precept now in 2nd Esdras 16, and we're going to start at verse 13. For strong, this is 2nd Esdras 16, starting at 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So, when the Most High allows these modern day arrows to be shot into the ends of the world, like I said, from a .177 BB gun all the way up to a hypersonic nuclear missile, he says that that they're not going to miss. And let me just read down a little bit and prove that that's what he's saying. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again, until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it is consumed the foundation of the earth. And I'll show you that fire too, because that's all, we're coming up to that right now, and then I'm going to shut it down. So, till it consumed the foundation of the earth, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backwards, even so the plague shall be sent upon the earth, shall not return again. One of these plagues is fire. And these, let me show you. Because when these countries come and they are right on the cusp of taking this place down. So now they're going to build an alliance first. So it might take another year for them to get all set up. And then in that year, they're going to try and get us all marked. And then after that's done, they'll try and send us out to fight against these guys. And they're just going to... They're going to organize and destroy. Guaranteed. And then, if we can get it all to happen within the next year, I would be super excited about that. Because it all has to happen. And I know they say, woe unto them that call upon the day of the Lord. But you got to understand, those are like, that's not talking about people that are keeping the laws. He hears our cries. But the people that are calling for the day of the Lord, that don't keep his laws, that are calling for all this to happen, that are going out celebrating Easter right now, having a big old fat fucking chunk of ham, eating hot cross buns and a bunch of Easter bunny shaped candy and little eggs and little chicks, just all blasphemies and graven image and idolatry and fertility god worship. That's all it is. So let's go back to let's read that in Jeremiah 50:9 again. Now that we know that those arrows will be shot, they will be shot into the ends of the world. And this new country was called the end of earth. But anyway, that's a whole nother class for a different day. I don't want to misquote myself. So Let's read 16 again. Well, we'll read 13 again. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrow that he shooteth are sharp. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. And when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. 9. For lo, I will, this is Jeremiah 59. For lo, I will raise and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, and their arrows shall be as mighty shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return vain. Let me go back over to 2 Ezra 16 and 16. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer. What does it say over here? It said of a mighty expert man. So that's the same thing. These guys don't miss. We call those guys snipers. In this day and age, that is a sniper. And his modern day bow is his sniper weapon. And his arrow are the bullets that come out of it. So, as a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Why? Because he's going to burn this place down. Let's get that and then close out. Isaiah chapter 66. KJV, please. Let's get it. And we're going to start at verse... Of course, we have to start at verse 15. Now, we know that the archers come. We know that the nations are gathered against us. We know that they've pulled back the bow. They shoot the bow. They do not miss. What happens next? For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Have you ever seen the results of a nuclear warhead? Yeah. Incinerate you in seconds. I mean, wow. In a flash. Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So, he's coming, and he's coming soon. A lot of you guys that are just sitting on the couch, watching TV shows, hanging out, doing nothing, your works are what you're going to get repaid for in the kingdom. And you know what? In every class with that, Revelation 22 and 12, behold, I come quickly. My reward is with me to pay every man according to his work shall be. I was just telling the guy today out on the streets, you have a job for Yahweh. The 2/3 are going to get fired with no pay. But the 1/3, and you know that there's a difference, because the 1/3 is out there doing the works. They're not lukewarm and they're not slow-bellied. In other words, they're not I'm not over here. I'm not like they wavereth. If you're lukewarm, you wavereth. You're trying to be neutral. You agree with everything. You wavereth like the waves of the ocean, like a child being carried, tossed to and fro with every false doctrine. You wavereth. You're lazy. You don't study. You're not getting in. You're not getting in. And you're not, in other words, you're not going to get paid. You're not, your payment is going to be the undying worm. And the undying worm, make me roll my eyes. The undying worm means sorrow. So Deuteronomy 28 and 15 through 68 would be us living out the prophecy of the undying worm. And Jacob shall no longer be a worm. So in other words, Jacob is no longer going to be oppressed. The sorrows are oppression. And all the bad things that Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai allowed to happen to us for not following his instructions in the first place. Now, like I said, if you have a job, you get paid for your work. Some people get paid more than others, right? I just gotta I just got a raise like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't ask for it, but my boss came up and told me because I was going to give one of my employees a raise because he's doing really well, and they keep raising the price, so I was kind of skeptical to even ask him, and I said, hey, one of my guys, he needs a raise to survive, and he goes, I'm going to give you a raise. And it flattered me, but honestly, I didn't ask for any of that. All I care about is wisdom and understanding, but maybe the Most High allowed something to happen to me because he knows that I'm out studying. So I consider everything a blessing, even a curse. If I fall down and I fucking crack my elbow on the ground, I'm going to get up and say, all praises to the Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. There's got to be a good reason for this one. I mean, he cracked my elbow good. I'm not going to sit there and curse the Most High and think that it was all his fault that I fell and cracked my elbow. No, I'm blessed. I feel blessed that he took time to crack my elbow. Maybe I was doing something wrong. So when he gives me a good blessing, I also am extra thankful and almost not wanting to tell other people. So when I say, I was like, I don't really like to tell people about all that kind of stuff. Not everybody even has a job. And it kills me because I can hire people, I can fire people, I can give raises, I can take them away. I still have to get them cleared by my main boss, but I can tell a guy, yeah, I'll put in for you a raise and no problem, and I'll tell the boss, we'll have a conversation, because I run a pretty big job site. But there's a lot. It's about the works though. I get paid for my works, and so with the Most High, when you start off, this is good too. You'll start off as sincere. Since the sincere Akiyama Akwaf coming into the 100% truth. Then you become a student, which is called a disciple. And as a student, you can become an apostle. That just means to, I'm pretty sure it's just when you go out and start traveling around. So you're out there in your 2s, 3s, how many other people are with you? Maybe you're just reading, maybe you're observing, maybe you're just watching the camp. But then over a period of time, an apostle starts prophesying. And a prophet starts to teach. And when you go to teach, you should become a student. And don't ever worry about being an elder. Worry about prophesying and being an apostle and maybe one day able to teach. So everybody has to come into the truth. And, I've said too much. So with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, it's the end time. Wars. Rumors of wars. Earthquakes in diverse places. Matthew chapter 24. I'm sorry, guys. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear, I just hope you're able to get something out of this message. So, this is Matthew 24:6. Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. This isn't to scare you. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For now, this is where we're at. Last year, this was happening. This happened like in the last couple of years. Now we're at the part where all the nations are banding together. Listen to this. For a nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. Now we've already got, of course, earthquakes getting stronger every year, whirlwinds getting stronger, tsunamis. The Most High, this is how he begins to visit us. In fact, these are the beginnings of sorrow. So we know we're right on the cusp of Jacob's trouble. But last year, all these nations were against each other. This year, all these nations are all part of BRICS now. So with that being said, like I told you before, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this. I thought it was going to be a short message, but the Most High just keeps pushing me. Shalom.